The sky above Cora Prime was never meant to hold human ships. For centuries, the planet had been ruled by the Xylan Empire, a proud alien race that believed no other species should ever step foot on their sacred world. But that belief was about to be broken. It began with a shadow in orbit, a massive human ship dark as night, silent as a secret. The aliens called it the Wraith. The humans called it the Ark of Dawn. It appeared without warning, drifting above the planet's defense grid. Every scanner on Cora Prime screamed alerts. The Xylan Council gathered in panic. "How did they find us?" one elder hissed. "They broke our star codes," another replied. "Impossible. No species has ever—" "Humans," the youngest officer interrupted. "They do not follow rules." Far above the planet, Captain Elias Ward stood at the bridge of the Ark of Dawn. His eyes were cold, fixed on the blue-green sphere below. "Activate stealth sequence," he ordered. "Let's make history." The crew moved like ghosts. The engines went silent. The ship vanished from alien radars. Every move was calculated. Every second was planned. Humans were not here to ask for permission. They were here to take what they wanted. Rumors said Cora Prime held something called the Core Seed, a living crystal that could power a planet for 1,000 years. Energy so pure it could change human civilization forever. But the Xylan Empire had made it clear, the Core Seed belongs to no one but us. Captain Ward smiled. "No law can stop us," he whispered. When the first human dropship entered the planet's atmosphere, lightning cracked across the sky. The air burned around the ship as it descended through thick clouds. On the ground below, alien soldiers raised their plasma rifles, forming a defensive line near the crystal caverns. Commander Tarek of the Xylan forces shouted orders. "Do not let them land. Fire at will." Energy blasts lit up the night. But humans didn't stop. Their ship crashed through the barrage, landed in a storm of dust and fire, and from the smoke, armored figures stepped out, silent, fearless, unstoppable. They were the Earthborn Expeditionary Unit, known across the stars for breaking every intergalactic law that stood in their way. They wore black armor marked with the symbol of a rising sun. The aliens aimed their weapons again, but the humans moved faster. A flash of blue light, alien weapons fell silent. A pulse cannon fired from the dropship, sending shockwaves across the valley. The ground trembled. When the dust settled, one human stood at the front, Lieutenant Mara Voss. Her visor glowed red. She looked around at the fallen alien soldiers. "No resistance left," she said into her calm. Captain Ward's voice came through. "Good. Begin extraction." Inside the main Xylan city, panic spread like fire. Civilians ran. Sirens screamed. Holograms flickered with the warning, "Human trespassers detected." The High Council sent a desperate message to the orbiting human ship. "You are violating Galactic Code 14. Leave now, or face destruction." Captain Ward simply replied, "Try." Moments later, he gave a single order. "Deploy drones." Thousands of small metal spheres dropped from orbit, spreading through the skies of Cora Prime like a silver storm. They mapped every inch of the planet, scanning, recording, hunting. For the first time in centuries, the Xylan realized they were not the hunters anymore. Down in the caverns, Lieutenant Mara's team reached the glowing chamber of the Core Seed. The air shimmered with energy. The crystal pulsed like a heartbeat, alive and aware. Private Ken looked nervous. "Sir, it feels like it's watching us." Mara didn't blink. "It doesn't matter. We're taking it." She placed a containment shield around the crystal. The light dimmed, as if the planet itself was gasping. Then deep under their feet, the ground shook violently. The Core Seed screamed. The sound was not heard, it was felt in their bones. Mara's voice broke through the noise. "Captain, we've got it." But something's wrong. The planet's reacting. Above, Captain Ward watched as the skies turned red. Lightning arced from the atmosphere straight into orbit. "Get out of there," he commanded. But the transmission crackled. Static. Then silence. Ward stared at the signal. Lost. He turned to his first officer. "Mark my words," he said quietly. "No empire, no god, and no law will stop humanity now." The camera could fade out here, showing the burning sky of Cora Prime. Human ships glowing like fireflies in the storm. As the voice of the narrator echoes, "They came not to conquer, but to claim." And once humans set their eyes on something, nothing in the universe could stop them. The storm over Cora Prime did not end when the humans left. It grew worse. Lightning tore through the sky like veins of fire, and the land cracked open where the core seed had once slept. The planet was wounded, alive and angry, but the humans had already gone. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the Ark of Dawn, staring at the containment chamber that held the glowing crystal. The core seed pulsed softly, almost like it was breathing. Its light painted the metal walls gold and red. Lieutenant Mara Voss and her surviving team members stood nearby, silent and pale. 2 of their people were missing, lost when the cavern collapsed. Ward looked at the crystal. "We have it," he said, "and now the galaxy will come for us." Across deep space, news spread faster than light. Human forces had broken the galactic code. They had stolen from a sovereign empire. They had touched something forbidden. The Council of Worlds met in emergency session. "Humans have crossed every line," one alien lord growled. "They believe no law can stop them," another said. "They may be right," whispered a third. For decades, humans had lived under the rules of the Galactic Alliance: limited expansion, controlled technology, restricted travel. But humans never liked rules. They built faster ships, stronger weapons, and darker dreams. Now every empire was asking the same question: what will the humans do next? Inside the Ark of Dawn, the core seed began to hum louder. The sound filled the ship like a heartbeat. Lights flickered. Screens glitched. "Captain!" the engineer called out. "The seed is connecting with our systems. It's rewriting the ship's core code." Ward frowned. "Is it dangerous?" "Unknown, sir. It's learning us." Ward turned toward the containment field. "Learning us?" he repeated slowly. "Yes, sir. It's adapting. Almost like it's curious." The light from the crystal pulsed faster, brighter, then slowed, like it had heard them. Mara watched it with a mix of awe and fear. "Maybe it doesn't like being taken," she said softly. Ward's jaw tightened. "It doesn't get a choice. Neither do we." Hours later, the ship entered the Fringe Zone, a region of space with no laws, no governments, and no maps. It was where smugglers, pirates, and forgotten colonies survived. It was also where humanity had built secret stations, hidden from alien eyes. The Ark of Dawn docked at Station Blacklight, an old mining platform turned human fortress. Its halls were cold metallic, covered in graffiti that read, "No kings, no gods, no limits." As the crew unloaded supplies, Ward walked through the base. Everywhere he looked, humans worked, building weapons, repairing ships, training for war. There were no politicians here, no rules, no codes. Just survival and strength. Mara followed him. "Sir, what now?" "The Zillion will come for us. Maybe even the Alliance," Ward nodded. "Let them come. They'll learn what we've become." Meanwhile, far away on Cora Prime, the Xylan Empire faced chaos. The loss of the core seed had thrown their world into crisis. Power systems failed. Cities went dark. The planet's energy grid was collapsing. Commander Tarek, the same alien who had fought the humans, stood before the Xylan High Council. "You said humans were reckless," he growled. "You said they would not dare." But they did, and they succeeded. The High Chancellor's eyes burned with fury. "Then we will take it back. Prepare the fleets." And this time, no mercy. Back on the Ark of Dawn, something strange began to happen. In the silence of space, the core seed started to project images, flashes of other worlds, old cities, alien symbols, and stars no one had mapped before. The crew gathered around the containment chamber. "What is it showing us?" Mara asked. The engineer replied quietly, "A map, but not of our galaxy. It's showing somewhere else." Ward stared at the lights, his mind racing. "Another system? Another dimension?" The engineer nodded slowly. "Or maybe a message." The crystal pulsed again, and suddenly the screens around them filled with words in ancient alien language. The translation program struggled to keep up. But one line appeared clear and bright. "Those who take without permission must face the architect." A chill passed through the bridge. "Who is the architect?" Mara whispered. Ward didn't answer. He looked out at the stars, an endless, silent waiting. "Maybe we're about to find out," he said. Outside the ship, deep in the darkness of the Fringe Zone, space itself began to move. A ripple, faint but growing, spread across the stars, like something enormous was waking up. The core seed glowed brighter, responding to the ripple. "Captain," the navigator said nervously, "something's coming, big, Very big. Ward gave a small smile, half excitement, half fear. Then we meet it head-on, he said. Because no law, no power, and no being will stop us from taking our place among the stars. The screen fades to black. The hum of the core seed echoes in the dark. They took what they wanted, and now the universe was coming to take it back. The silence of deep space was never truly silent. It carried whispers, radio static, faint echoes, signals from distant stars. But now something new had entered that silence. A low vibration, deep and endless like the heartbeat of the universe itself. On the bridge of the Ark of Dawn, the sound came through every channel. "Captain, it's not interference," the communications officer said. "It's a signal." Repeating over and over, Ward frowned. "Translate it." The computer struggled for several minutes before a line appeared on the screen. "Return what is not yours." Everyone stared. The message pulsed once, then vanished. Lieutenant Mara Voss broke the silence. "It's from the architect, isn't it?" Ward didn't answer. He just turned toward the containment field, holding the core seed. The crystal glowed brighter now, as if reacting to the message. The lights flickered across the walls like veins of fire. "Sir," said the engineer quietly, "if this architect is real, maybe it created the seed." Ward's voice was calm, but cold. "Then it will have to understand something. Humans don't return what they've earned." Hours later, as the Ark of Dawn drifted through the fringe zone, the ship's radar caught movement. Large objects closing fast. "Unidentified signatures," the navigator said. 12 ships. They're surrounding us." On the main screen, alien ships appeared, smooth white vessels glowing with golden light. They were not Zealand ships. Their design was older, cleaner, too perfect to belong to any known race. The lead ship transmitted a signal. The screen filled with a symbol, a circle within a circle glowing with living light. Then a voice spoke, calm and powerful. "Human vessel, you have taken what belongs to the architect. Return it and you will be spared." Ward stood tall. "This is Captain Elias Ward of Earth. You have no claim over what we found. The seed is now human property." A long pause followed. Then the voice spoke again, almost like a sigh. "You misunderstand. The seed is not property. It is alive. And by taking it, you have awakened its maker." Before anyone could react, one of the alien ships fired a beam of golden energy, not a weapon but a signal. It struck the core seed inside the Ark of Dawn. The crystal flared to life. The ship shook violently. Systems crashed. Sparks flew across the bridge. "Shields down," the engineer shouted. "Power drain increasing." Ward gripped the railing. "Mara, get the crew to the escape decks." Now, but Mara didn't move. Her eyes were fixed on the crystal. "Sir?" "It's changing." The core seed's light twisted and expanded, forming a glowing shape, a tall humanoid figure made entirely of energy. It hovered in the center of the bridge, its voice echoing through metal and bone. "You call yourselves humans," it said. "You build, you destroy, you take. For everything you touch, you hunger for more." Ward stared into the glowing face. "And yet we survive. We fight, we grow. That's what makes us human." The figure tilted its head as if curious. "And what happens when your hunger consumes the stars?" Ward's reply was quiet but full of steel. "Then we build new ones." The core's light pulsed. For a moment it almost looked like the figure smiled. Then it spoke again, colder now. "You are not ready for what you have stolen." Suddenly a surge of energy shot through the ship. Crew members screamed as consoles exploded. The glowing figure vanished, absorbed back into the seed. The ship drifted, engines failing. Alarms screamed across every deck. "Captain," the engineer coughed, "we're losing power. If we don't stabilize the core, we'll be dead in 5 minutes." Ward slammed his hand against the controls. "We're not dying here." "Reroute everything to the main reactor." Mara ran to the command console, her hands moving fast. "Sir, the alien ships, they've stopped firing. They're watching us." Ward glanced at the screen. The white ships hovered silently, surrounding them like judges at a trial. Then the voice returned, louder now, echoing in every mind aboard. "You cannot win against the architect. You were warned." But humans never stopped at warnings. Ward shouted, "Activate the seed!" The engineer's eyes went wide. "Sir, that could destroy the ship." "Do it!" The containment shield dropped. The core seed exploded with light, brighter than a star. A wave of energy tore through space. knocking back the alien ships. The whole sector flashed white. When the light faded, the arc of dawn was gone. In its place was silence. Hours later, on a distant moon, a damaged human escape pod crashed into the sand. The hatch opened. Lieutenant Mara Voss stumbled out, coughing, her armor scorched. She looked up at the sky, a sky filled with strange constellations she had never seen before. Her comm device crackled weakly. A familiar voice came through, faint but alive. "Sir, Mara." "This is Ward. Do you read me?" She smiled, weak but determined. "I read you, sir." Ward's voice was calm even through static. "We're not in the fringe anymore. The seed had moved us. Somewhere else." Mara looked around the alien landscape, glowing with blue light. "Where are we?" Ward's voice came again, quiet and filled with awe. "I think we've entered the architect's domain." The screen fades to black. The hum of the core seed echoes again, distant and alive. They took what they wanted. But now they were the ones being watched. The moon was silent. No wind, no sky. Only endless plains of glowing stone, stretching to the horizon like frozen light. Lieutenant Mara Voss stood alone beside the wreck of her escape pod, her armor cracked, her pulse racing. Every breath she took echoed strangely, as if the air itself was alive. She looked up and froze. The stars above her moved, slowly. They twisted into shapes, forming patterns like symbols written across the heavens. Her comm crackled. "Mara, this is Captain Ward. Report." Relief hit her like oxygen. "I'm here, sir. I'm alive, but I don't think we're in our galaxy anymore." Ward's voice came through static. "Confirmed. The seed's energy signature placed us outside known space. The readings don't match any system in Alliance records." Mara swallowed hard. "Then where are we?" A pause. Then Ward said quietly, "We're inside the architect's domain." Hours later, Ward's damaged command module landed near Mara's position. The surviving crew gathered under the pale blue sky that shimmered like glass. There were only 17 of them left. The rest lost when the arc of dawn vanished. The core seed floated above the ground, no longer contained, glowing softly like a living heart. One of the crew whispered, "It's..." Watching us, Ward approached the crystal. "It brought us here for a reason," he said. "So let's find out why." He turned to Mara. "Scan the area. Look for structures or signals. Anything." She nodded and began her sweep. After several hours of walking, they found it. A structure that defied logic. It wasn't built. It had grown. Towering pillars of white metal twisted upward, joining at impossible angles. The air vibrated around it like sound underwater. In the center stood an archway of pure light. As they approached, the core seed drifted toward it, glowing brighter with every step. "Captain," Mara said cautiously, "I think it wants us to go inside." Ward looked at the archway, then at his crew. "We came this far. We're not turning back." When they stepped through, the world changed. Suddenly they were standing in what looked like a massive city, but not made of stone or steel. The buildings were transparent, floating in the air like reflections. Figures moved through the streets, tall, luminous beings with bodies of shifting light. They didn't walk. They glided. And they didn't speak. But the humans could feel their presence, like hundreds of eyes watching them from every direction. Mara whispered, "Are they..." Alive, Ward's voice was calm. "I think they're memories, echoes left behind." Then from the center of the city a figure appeared, taller than the rest, brighter, more defined. The voice that followed was the same one they had heard before. "Welcome, humans. You stand in the seat of the architect." Ward stepped forward. "We didn't come to worship. We came for knowledge." The figure tilted its head. "Knowledge?" It repeated softly. "You took what was not yours. You broke the balance of creation. And now you ask for understanding." Ward's tone was sharp. "We didn't break anything. We survive. That's who we are." The figure's light dimmed, then brightened again. "You survive by consuming everything you find. But creation is not yours to command." Ward smiled faintly. "Everything out here belongs to whoever has the courage to take it." The ground trembled. The sky darkened. The luminous city flickered. The architect's voice grew louder, shaking the air. "Then take this, human. Take truth." The world shattered. In a flash, Ward and his crew were standing on Earth, but not their Earth. It was broken. Cities in ruins. Oceans black. the sky red with fire. Mara looked around, horrified. "Sir, what is this?" The architect's voice echoed everywhere. "This is your future. The end of every world you touch." Ward clenched his fists. "You're showing us lies." "No," the voice replied. "I am showing you what your hunger will bring. You take and take until there is nothing left." Mara looked at Ward, fear in her eyes. "What if it's right? What if we really are the monsters?" Ward turned to her, his eyes hard. "Then we'll be the monsters that survive." The ruined city around them cracked like glass, and they were back in the glowing domain. The architect stood before them again, its light dimmer now, almost human-shaped. "You cannot win against creation itself," it said softly. Ward stepped closer. "Maybe not. But we can change it." He raised his hand toward the core seed. "You said it's alive. That means it can choose. And if it chooses us..." The crystal flared blinding white. The ground shook. The luminous beings screamed, not in anger but in fear. The architect's voice thundered, "What are you doing?" Ward's answer came through the roar of energy. "Making history." Light swallowed everything. When the light faded, the crew was gone. The city was gone. Only the core seed remained, floating above a crater, burning like a newborn star. Then slowly, a human voice echoed through the domain, Ward's voice, calm and steady. "No law can stop us." "Not even yours." The screen fades to black. The sound of a slow, rhythmic pulse fills the silence, the heartbeat of something new. They came to steal power. But what they found was godhood. Silence returned first. Then a soft hum, steady, alive, pulsing through the void. Captain Elias Ward opened his eyes. He was standing on solid ground, though nothing around him looked familiar. The core seed floated above a crater of glowing stone, its light brighter than any star. Lieutenant Mara Voss staggered beside him. "Sir, we're alive." Ward nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon. The domain of the architect stretched endlessly, floating cities, luminous beings, impossible landscapes, all quiet now, watching them. "They expected fear," Ward said softly. "They expected us to run. But humans don't run." The core seed pulsed in response, a rhythm almost like a heartbeat, reacting to their presence. Mara stepped closer, hand outstretched. "It trusts us?" Ward shook his head, smiling faintly. "It's not trust. It's recognition. It knows we're human." For the first time, the luminous figures moved closer, not threatening, not attacking, only observing. From the center of the domain, a voice rang out, calm, resonant, but filled with awe. "Humans, you have survived what no other species could. You have faced me and endured." Ward raised his hand. "We didn't just survive. We adapt, we fight. We take what we need, and we build something better from it." The architect's light dimmed, then flared. "You defy creation itself, and yet you honor it in your own way." Mara whispered, "Sir, are we winning?" Ward's gaze never left the glowing core seed. "We never wait to win. We make history." The core seed began to rotate, spinning faster, casting beams of energy across the floating city. The light hit the humans, their armor reflecting like mirrors. Then came a sound. Not a voice, not a scream, but a ripple through the very fabric of space. The domain responded. The impossible city shifted, reformed, bending its impossible geometry to accommodate the human's presence. Ward stepped forward, eyes burning. "Prepare the ship," he said. "We're taking it all, and knowledge, power, survival, everything." The surviving crew moved with precision. Mara and the others secured the core seed, its energy contained within the human-designed matrix. Every step of the operation was careful, calculated, unstoppable. The architect watched silently, its presence vast and endless. "You will reshape the domain. But do not forget, every choice has a consequence." Ward's hand tightened on the control panel. "Then let the consequences come. Humans are ready for them. For hours, the humans worked. The core seed's energy interfaced with their technology, enhancing ships, tools, and weapons beyond imagination. The domain itself seemed to bend, gravity shifting, light shaping itself to their will. Mara laughed softly. "Sir, we're rewriting reality." Ward's voice was quiet but proud. "We're not rewriting it. We're claiming it. Humanity does not ask. Humanity does not wait. Humanity takes and makes it ours. From the glowing skyline, the architect's voice echoed again. Bold, reckless, powerful, perhaps necessary. The humans paused. For the first time, they realized something profound. The architect, the core seed, the domain itself, they were not enemies. They were tools, mirrors, challenges meant to test the species that dared to rise above every law, every rule, every limit, and humanity had passed. Days later, the Ark of Dawn, rebuilt, powered by the core seed, lifted off from the domain, its engines blazing like a comet. Humans stood at the controls, their eyes fixed on the stars. Every crew member knew the truth. The universe would never be the same. Mara looked at Ward. "Where to next?" Ward smiled, cold and confident. "Anywhere we want. Every frontier. Every forbidden system. No law, no empire, no God will ever stop us again." The camera pans out. The Ark of Dawn disappears into the void, leaving the glowing domain behind. Stars twinkle, galaxies spin, and somewhere the architect watches, impressed, intrigued, and perhaps challenged. The final shot lingers on the core seed, pulsing in the void, alive and now under human command. Narrator's voice. They came not to beg, not to kneel, and not to follow. They came because humanity takes. And when humans take, nothing in the universe can stop them. The screen fades to black. Only the heartbeat of the core seed echoes. Steady, eternal, unstoppable. The end.